on PS5. You can set it to private.
Oh yeah, so you can, yeah.
You don't have to obnoxiously appear in everyone's notifications with a stream that hasn't even got a title or a thumbnail.
Well, can't be anyone confused with half the bullshit that happens in the real world either.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh, no, I'm going to be talking that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't. More!
You alright?
Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked on the fucking icon to start Destiny by accident.
Ha!
Thankfully the PC can handle having BlueStacks, Discord, Chrome, Notepad, Steam, and Task Manager on at the same time.
You poor thing. Well, you know what I'm having to deal with right now? Oh look, it says Ian P is playing Destiny 2.
No, it's not.
Always comes up whenever you go on, because I'm on Steam now, it always comes up. Whenever you do anything now, it comes up on my screen.
Yeah.
I think we've got about 2 minutes, they're just starting the formation now.
Well, I wouldn't do since I've got hopefully slightly baby arm in front.
It's not that hairy.
Well, it says about equal to me. But then again, most of my hair's going to be shaved out because I'm going to get my tattoos. Like you, bitch. Right, music check. Here. Can you hear the music?
No, I can't, thank God.
Right. It's 30 seconds to Mars, fuck you.
Sorry, it's not because of your music taste, it's because we're not actually supposed to have music on the stream. Oh, come on, hurry up! Fucking hell, this thing is so slow! Jesus Christ!
Well, and it's defense.
Jesus Christ! It takes 20 seconds for me to save edits to a YouTube video. 20 seconds to change a fucking title. Are you fucking taking the piss? I'm not angry.
Yeah, that's
Right, I think we're just in time. I think we are just coming to the end of the formation now. Yeah, we're going into Stowe. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel. We are back here tonight on our Friday night for the F1 League. We've got a very depleted grid here tonight. Not happy at all. Ian, how's it looking? I've just moved it by accident. How's it looking? Up, down, sideways?
you're left a little bit.
Left a little bit. How's that? Is that down? Is that alright? Okay. So here we are then, lining up on the grid. We've got a very depleted grid here tonight because 10 people said they couldn't race tonight. 10 regular drivers said they couldn't turn up. What's going on? I mean, big shout out to the legends out on track tonight for making the effort, but oh my god. But anyway, here we are, about to go racing here for round 7 of this 16 round season here for season 6 on the EA Sports F1 game. And it is lights out and away we go. And it looks as though the Mercedes and Chris didn't get a great start. Moving himself up into P1, but Chris keeping it around the outside there for Village. Without the outside, but he keeps onto the position there, does Chris. As Jerome tucks in behind him, you've got Tezza Muzzer ahead of centre, followed by Papa Squanch in P5, and you've got V10 Ultra. Dino has lost out to Crazy Max. Crazy Max up into 7th place there, still side by side though, coming out of the loop. And Dino there gets the move done up into 7th place. The group behind them with Kid Keko making his debut tonight. Nino Blanco and Freddie at the back, but it's as you were between the leaders at the moment. And we've got a move currently being shaped up by Freddie trying to go around the outside of Nino Blanco, and he's actually done him there brilliantly going through Brooklyn. So Freddie up into 11th place, but it's Chris from Jerome from Tezamuzza the top three. Jerome keeping Chris on his toes. Tezamuzza on those medium tyres, but wanting to make the most of that tyre advantage in the opening few laps because the guys in front of him are on the hard tyres. But at the moment he's just tucking in here on this first lap. He'll be probably waiting for that DRS to become available before he goes for any speculative moves on the front two. But Chris and Jerome, the top two in qualifying, currently nip and tuck here as they're coming out of Chapel Curve on lap 1 down the hanger straight for the first time. What's Jerome's straight line speed like? Our three-time champion of the Formula 1 League Career Motive making a reserve appearance tonight as he gets closer and closer to the back of Chris into Stowe Corner, but can't make anything happen just at the moment as Chris is covering him off nicely here. Tezamuzza in the background trying to attack as Dino's got ahead of Vita Ultra up into P6 as they're coming into the Vale chicane. That's a nicely done there from Dino. There's another position gain as well down the order. I think that was Crazy Max getting ahead of the Grieve up into 8th place as well. So a few gains going on here on this first lap, but currently Chris still leading ahead of Jerome at the moment. And interesting first lap here. Obviously, you know Jerome quite well, Ian. You commentated on him a few times. Who of these guys do you know actually from back in the days when we used to commentate in season 1? Do you recognise anybody apart from Jerome?
Apart from Jerome, I definitely don't think anyone apart from Jerome.
Yeah, it's. I think he's definitely the longest serving driver on our Discord in this server at the moment. As we see Freddie go around the outside of Kekako, and Kekako spun around there, had nowhere to go. Freddie just turned in him a little bit there. The two Williams is coming together, they're going through Luffield, and Kekako now well off at the back of everybody else on his Motive Racing debut here tonight. He won't be happy with that one, but still a long way to go, and always the potential for a safety car to spice things up a little bit. Still a long way to go, and opportunities to get himself back into this race, but the situation at the front still the same. Chris, Jerome and Tezamuzza separated by less than 7/10 of a second as these top three, as Jerome getting close to the back of Chris, but still no DRS on this second lap of the race, so the opportunities not really presenting themselves at the moment. Sorry mate. Definitely, yeah, it's going to be a huge advantage for him. So Chris is going to be having to watch out here. I think down the Arlington Straight, this could be where Jerome's going to have his first opportunity to seize the lead, or if he's going to do it before that maybe, as he looks down the inside here to go into Village, as Chris is keeping it around the outside. He's still there. He'll have the inside here for Aintree, and he's going to surely park it on the apex, but Jerome gets the suckering out of the corner there, coming out of the loop onto the Wellington Straight, but who's going to get the DRS? That's the question. As we come down now, it looks like Jerome got the DRS, so Chris there getting the double whammy there, and drops down to second place. He's got Tezamuzza on the back of him, but holds onto that one as they go into Brooklands, as we've got Dino all over the back of Papa Squanch trying to get the run here coming out of Brooklands. Dino is actually racing with a broken finger tonight. He broke his finger earlier on, cycled back from A&E, what a nutcase, but he's looking to the outside of Papa Squanch here coming out of Luffield. Through Woodcut we go. They're still side by side here coming out onto the National Pit Straight. Dino keeps it around the outside there. Papa Squanch kept the momentum and holds on to that one for the time being then. So nicely done there from him. But we go back to the leaders because Chris is right on the back of Jerome. Now it's a role reversal. Now it's Chris behind with DRS, and seemingly he's able to keep up with him quite easily at this stage as well, as he's looking to the inside into Stowe Corner. But Jerome's just got him covered off there for the time being. Definitely so. Jerome there, fastest lap of the race, so he is pushing there in second place. These two have managed to keep ahead of Tezamuzza and actually keep their pace ahead of his, which is surprising because obviously Tezamuzza on those medium tyres, you would think on paper would have the advantage at this stage, but hasn't been able to make most of it at the moment. Maybe he's just waiting for these two to trip over each other, but the advantage that he's got will not last forever here. Obviously the medium tyres can go about 15 laps without a safety car. The hard's probably about 22, 25 laps, somewhere around that region. So really, in order to make the mediums work, you've got to get on it straight away.
I'm going to call it the top two. The highest two ones on the horns. I'll get Pat Rattler lap 18, 19.
At that point, would you potentially be able to put the softs on, do you reckon?
Well, it does look like it has on actually be a good shout to go to the mediums, but it depends on how warm the track is, because there is a lot of fast corners at Silverstone.
Oh, we've got a move being shaped up here. V10 Ultra down the inside of Papasconch into Stowe corner. Goes a little bit deep. Papasconch is going to look. Blanco and Freddie are battling, but we're watching this one between V10 Ultra and Papasconch as V10 Ultra holds it around the outside of the Vale chicane and keeps ahead of him there, but now Crazy Max wants to get involved as well. Papasconch could be vulnerable here down the start-finish straight as they come into Abbey, but Crazy Max tucks in for the time being. Nino Blanco now ahead of Freddie in 10th place as well, so lots of action going on. Back to the leaders here. Every time we get an onboard, I can't hear you anymore. It's my headphone setup, so I'm hoping and praying that as much as possible they keep on the trackside cameras, as we've got Crazy Max there down the inside of Papasconch. I think they can hear you on stream, but the way I've got my headphones set up, whenever we have an onboard, I can't hear you. So just be aware of that. Whatever you're saying, obviously I will try and just go with it. But we see there Papasconch and Crazy Max having a good fight. No. Just obviously no. Don't not that. Just be aware, because sometimes if I just seem like I'm ignoring you, it's not that. But Chris here down the inside of Johan for the lead of the race into Stowe corner. That was a superb move, Ian. Well, he used the DRS to make the move on Joram. Obviously, we were saying earlier on how Joram's straight line speed is absolutely phenomenal. But Chris there using the DRS to his advantage. Now Joram's going to try and make the move in the same part of the track where he made the move for the lead a few laps ago. But these two seem really evenly matched at the moment. It's a great fight between them. And, well, we've seen a few times over the last couple of seasons when Joram's made substitute appearances. He's been way too quick for everybody. Now it seems like he's finally met his match in Chris. He seems to have the pace here tonight. As we're coming down the Wellington Straight, Joram a little bit too far back to make the move into Brooklands for the time being, and yeah, he's holding his own right now. Is Chris, and doing a really impressive job.
Well, it's like anything in any kind of sport or competitive manner. It's like he was in Formula One so many years before Mexico. He absolutely dominated up until recently. Now he's found now something that's actually going to step up to the car. Challenge him and and beat him on multiple occasions, if not all.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on the car, doesn't it? If you've got a good car underneath you, you can really reap the benefits, but you've also got to be consistent as anything as well. That's the thing that Max, I think, is able to do that Lewis, although Lewis was able to, generally he was the one who was most consistent, he definitely didn't have that level, that robotic sort of faultlessness that Max has. But obviously you can see here Joram makes his return to Motive, and he always puts in a shift whenever he does make a return here on the channel. He races in other leagues, but he hasn't raced as a permanent driver now for a couple of seasons, but he's made about 4 or 5 appearances, one-off appearances, since he left the league as a permanent driver, and whenever he does, he always is on the podium, and I think has won 4 out of the 5 times that he has raced with us since. So but at the moment he's having to settle for second best, as we see Tezamaza getting close to the back of these guys still on those medium tyres. Nino Blanco and Crazy Max having a battle here as they're side by side. Nino Blanco there just keeping ahead of him and gets the move done, but Crazy Max is going to get the run here. Nino's got the DRS though, because he was behind him at the detection point, so Nino uses that to stay ahead of Crazy Max. Freddie in the background on the back of Grieve as they're going into Brooklands, but nothing doing there. That stays the same between those two at the moment. And we go back to the battle for the lead.
I have one question. Have you saw the McLaren livery for Singapore?
I haven't seen it, no.
Well, I have to show you this, because they called it stealth.
Oh, Freddie there. Oh, sorry, the Grieve a bit wide, but holds on from Freddie there as they go into Maggots. It looked like he was a bit out of shape, but managed to keep his momentum around the outside nonetheless here. But Blanco still pressuring Crazy Max. This is a 4-car train here, battling over 8th place as they come down the hanger straight once again. As just want to say a warm welcome to everybody joining us live on the Motive Racing channel. If you guys are enjoying, and smash that like button and show your appreciation for the drivers there. As we see Nino Blanco making a move, but Crazy Max is not giving up yet. They're side by side here down towards Vale, and Crazy Max is holding it. Sorry, Nino Blanco is holding it around the outside, doing a fantastic job there. As the Grieve has also got ahead of Freddie, so 2 position changes there in the space of a few hundred meters, but literally between each other. But Crazy Max there down the inside of Nino Blanco into Abbey and gets the position back there, back up into 8th place. Great fighting here from these guys. Freddie still tucks in behind the Grieve for the time being in that one, but it's all happening at the moment, and still in the early stages of this race. But really great fight here. But can the Grieve or Freddie put some pressure on Nino Blanco, who seems to have dropped off of Crazy Max a little bit coming through this first sector? Looks like they're all line astern just at the moment. But absolutely superb action here on the Motive channel tonight. Freddie's very close on the Grieve at this point. Battle at the front still raging on between Chris Joram and Teza Muzza. Teza still keeping to the back of these guys, but obviously on those faster tyres I have a feeling he won't have the pace in the second stint. But Joram here making a move to the inside of Chris there. Is going to make that one stick into Stowe corner and up into the lead. So these two change positions once again. The lead has changed hands about 6 times since the start of this race. They're taking it in turns to lead us around at the moment by the looks of it.
Yeah, but all this squabbling go back and forth is allowing that Aston Martin to stay real close to the back. Even though we are getting close to that point where the mediums are going to start falling off, he's still sticking with them.
Yeah, he is. Teza Muzza's doing a good job here of keeping himself in the hunt. And I tell you what, if there's a safety car, then that could also play into his hands as well. I don't know, a late safety car maybe could give him an opportunity to put the same tyres on and be in the same position as these guys, because they've got a fair old gap back to Senna. 7 seconds behind. Yeah, they've got 10 seconds back to Dyno, 14 seconds back to V10 Ultra. So essentially Teza Muzza under a safety car could pit and come out in P6, or P5 actually it would be, so he'd only lose 2 positions and he'd have the same tyres as the leaders. So he's in a decent window right now. But that's all hypothetical at this point, and obviously we hope that there isn't a safety car. We hope that we can do the whole race without any incidents. That's just a what if kind of situation. But right now, these three still showing the way as they're coming into Maggots and Beckett's here for the 9th time in this race. Noticing here, Crazy Max has had a bit of an incident. Oh, he spun it there going through Aintree. So he's had a bit of a horror show in the last couple of laps, and he's now nowhere near that battle that we were seeing before between Nino Blanco, the Grieve, and Freddie. And he's now behind our newcomer to the league, Keko, who's up into 11th place with all of that happening in front of him in terms of Crazy Max losing it. But we've got the leaders here coming down towards Vale. Once again, it's Joanne from Chris and Teza Muzza still right with these guys. 8 of you currently watching live on YouTube at the moment.
Max.
What? Oh,
he's hit the wall.
how did you know?
The map.
Oh, right, okay. Fair play. I was thinking, because for those of you who don't know, Ian's actually watching this. Oh, it's V10 Ultra there making a mistake. But yeah, Ian's actually watching the action right now through a Discord video call. My phone is literally filming my TV on a Discord video call. That's how he's commentating. It's a novel concept.
Yeah, check your Discord real quick and you'll see
No, I've got no setups free at the moment. My phone is showing the stream. My laptop's broken and my TV's showing the race. And my other phone is showing you the screen. So all 4 of my gadgets are currently occupied.
Well, basically, everything, the most, most of the colour of the car is now black. It's only black at all. The car is 99% black.
As we see, Crazy Max there is out of the race. He is DNF'd here on lap 10. So is that going to be a safety car? It looks like the marshals for the time being are going to recover that under double waved yellows, not even a VSC, which is quite brave. The marshals here in Great Britain are very efficient and they know what they're doing. So fair play, flying the Great British flag there very nicely, boys and girls. Well done. Oh, Freddie down the inside, Nino Blanco into Vale, but Nino's trying to hold it around the outside. Bit of contact there between them as they rob side pods. But Nino Blanco loses out to the Grieve there, coming out onto the start finish straight. So Nino Blanco's lost 2 places there to Freddy and the Grieve, down to 9th place there for Nino Blanco. Not the situation he would be wanting there, I'm sure about that. Back to the leaders, half a second between Joram and Chris at the moment, as we're starting to approach the pit window for those on the mediums. I wonder if Tezamaz's best opportunity of winning this race has got to be to get the undercut, surely, on those mediums. Get the hards on and plumb in a few faster laps than Joram and Chris. That's got to be his best chance, surely, in this race.
Has to be his best chance. Unless if you keep it closer.
No, I think he needs to do something a little bit different here. But we see Joram and Chris going through Stoke Corner at the moment, still pretty much nip and tuck at the moment. And Tezamaza not coming in for the time being then, so not following my advice there. We've got Senna running in 4th place, currently best of the rest, but not on the level of the top 3 here tonight. Dino P5, a few seconds clear of Papa Squanch. Freddy's trying to pull away from the Grieve and Nino Blanco a little bit. You can see that 3-0 battle is now starting to dissipate a little bit. Vita Ultra a couple of seconds behind them now, starting to drop off the pace. Kid Keko still running 11th place on his debut here tonight. Obviously we lost Crazy Max a couple of laps ago. But we see the leaders here coming out onto the Wellington Straight once again, and Dino's into the pits. So Dino coming in and making his mandatory pit stop at the end of lap 11, and he's putting the hard tyres on, as you would predict, obviously, because he started on the mediums. And what's Nino Blanco going to do here? He's coming into the box now as well. Probably going to be the hard tyres, you would think, seeing as he started on the mediums. As into the box he goes, and yep, white wall hard tyres going on his car. So the only medium runner you still get to pit is Tezamaza, who I said before his best opportunity to win this race would be coming in for an early stop and getting the undercut on the lead pair, but at the moment he doesn't seem too tempted to roll the dice here. Oh, Estelle Joa, massive slide there going into Chapel Curve. That's going to give Chris a run coming down the Hanger Straight, and Tezamaza might be able to follow him through as well here. Joa might be about to lose 2 positions. Wow, as they come into Stoke Corner, as Tezamaza has to tuck in for the time being, but Chris has taken the lead of the British Grand Prix here at Motive for Season 6 on the F1 game. That's down to Vale we go once again, and Chris now seizes on that, but Joa had a huge slide. I wasn't expecting that. I was basically just kind of taking a breath, and then all of a sudden I saw a big slide. I had to jump in as I was taking a bit of a breather there. Joram has lost the place, and Chris now in the lead once again, but bit of a mistake from him, and obviously his tyres should be okay. We're only 12 laps into the race, so the hard tyres should have plenty of tread. That must have been a momentary lapse of concentration there for Joram, which gave Chris that little run. And now Joram's got it all to do, but he's got DRS here coming down the Wellington Straight. Might have a chance to come back in here into Brooklands, but he's a little bit too far back at the moment, and Chris is going to have that one covered off for the time being then. It definitely looks like it, doesn't it? I think that they are starting to struggle, but Tezamaza's got a long way into this race on those medium tyres. So is he maybe, I have a feeling that maybe Teza might be possibly, I mean, Joe, I'm starting to think now that some of these hard runners might be planning on doing a soft stint at the end, and I reckon Tezamaza might be planning on putting the softs on at the end as well. I don't know why, I just have a little hunch. Maybe he's going to try and get those mediums to go to about, I don't know, lap 18 and get the softs to go to the end. I don't know why, I just have a feeling. Oh, that's now gone out of the window. He's into the pits. So Tezamaza into the pits at the end of lap 13. He's going to do a 13 lap stint on the hards. So they will comfortably go to the end. He can push as much as he likes. There is no chance they're going to go off. Joram here, almost underneath Chris as they come into Village Sorry, mate. We see Senna now into 3rd place, and Tezamaza is back out of the pits on his fresh hard tyres. The Grieve's got a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. The Grieve was in the league when you commentated, wasn't he?
Sorry?
Was the Grieve in the league when you commentated? Little Grievey and the Grieve, or did they join a season after? They were season 1, yeah. I thought they were. Yeah, so it was the Grieve, Little Grievey, Joram, and also Felix. Used to be called Game for Life as well, but he couldn't make it tonight. Yeah. So there's actually there's a fair few OG Season 1 guys still in the league. But we see the Grieve now back out onto the track on the fresh medium tyres, come out just ahead of Nino Blanco as they're battling out over the final points paying position. Nino there swoops around him. The Grieve on those very cold tyres, obviously in no position to fight him hard on that particular instance. As Chris is now into the pits. So Chris coming in at the end of lap 14. He's going to put the medium tyres on. He's got 12 laps left to go in this race. Joram staying out for the time being. Chris is going for the undercut here. This could be crucial.
Well, I've always known that for some,
This is going to be fascinating now because Joram going long. Chris is going to have fresh tyres, fresh medium tyres as well. So he's going to have so much better pace on this outlap than Joram is. So this is going to be huge now. This could be the race lead potentially for Chris. If he can nail this outlap, this could be a race-winning strategy here for him, as we see lots of drivers coming into the pits now. Freddie and V10 Ultra into the pits. Chris is now coming back out onto the track. Joram has got to be absolutely hell for leather on what I'm sure is going to be his in-lap, because he has to cover Chris off, unless he's planning on going long and putting the softs on, which is admittedly a possibility.
well, you know, it all depends on how exactly. Also, we don't know how that car's going. We don't know how good the grip of those tires looking, but it does look like it's slippery right now. So I have a feeling that the heat before the track is where it has really destroyed the tire negatively. So
It's starting to pay dividends, or rather just starting to have an effect here. Joram's staying out on the track, so he's not coming into the pits. The only conclusion I can draw from this is that he is planning on putting the softs on at the end, because at the moment he's just losing time. There's no doubt about it. He is losing time to Chris. Well, they're saying that Chris has got traffic here, which is not going to make it easy. And in fact, Chris has come out behind Tezza Mazza, so Tezza Mazza got the undercut on Chris by putting those fresh hards on, as now Chris has really got to fight for this one. Tezza Mazza with track position here, which could be huge.
we're not seeing what lap times. Also, that's one of the things that we can change. They change the thing from gap to track time to time. Yeah, there we go. Your lap times. So we'll be able to see over the end of the laps at the kind of if you're running this better or not.
Yeah, so well, Tezza on those fresh hards was in the 128s. He's the only driver at the moment in this race to do a lap in the 128s. Joram, I think he was only about half a tenth off of his personal best on the previous lap, so he's not really suffered any tyre wear at this point. His laps have been pretty consistent. Keep an eye on his sector times here, see what sort of laps he's doing, because he's about half a second, I think, off of Tezza's pace. Yeah, he's 3/10 down on his personal best going through the middle sector, so maybe he might be starting to think about it, but he seems perfectly healthy at this point.
Definitely, that seems like he is still running strong and thinking coming in.
Yeah, so is it going to be mediums? Most likely, but with staying out 2 laps longer, surely Chris is going to jump him, surely. Oh, and Chris has got ahead of Tezza Mazza now as well, actually. So Chris is now ahead of him. Yeah, he's made that move somewhere, not sure where, but obviously that tyre advantage, we would expect it to pay dividends, and it has certainly done that, as Joram coming into the pit box now at the end of lap 16. 10 laps left to go here in this race, as we see Chris coming into the Vale chicane, pulling away from Tezza Mazza in the background. You can see him there on those hard tyres, but Chris rounding club corner. Joram is out of the box and is nearly at the end of the pit lane now. Chris is just coming over the start finish line. It's going to be close. Joram here just coming off the limiter now. Chris has done it, and he's actually done it quite convincingly here. Chris comes round into Village now, and he's got the lead of the race by a convincing margin. Tez has also come out ahead of Joram, but Joram has gone for the soft tyres. Is he going to be able to get those to the end though? 10 laps left to go in this race. That will be a masterstroke if he can get those to the end. I don't think that's going to be possible. Surely not.
Given how fast we saw the weekend, the hard tyre fall off, I will feel that these also are going to last about 6 laps.
Yeah, I can't see him getting those to the end. Not a chance, not unless there's a safety car. But in which case, they'll all be coming in anyway for fresh tyres, because they've all got enough of a gap to dyno to come out in the top 3 positions anyway. So pretty much, it's a strange decision there from Joram. I would have thought the mediums would have been the obvious choice there. I thought he would have. He could have gone a couple of laps longer on those hard tyres. He could have gone to about lap 19 and then put the softs on, but I think it's too early. I don't think he's got a chance of getting those to the end. Nonetheless, though, he's going to have to pace on Tezamaza coming down the hanger straight, and he's going to breeze past him like he's not even there. See you later, goodbye. See you at the checkered flag there, says Joram. And into Stowe corner, he's now 2 seconds off of Chris. But is he going to be able to keep those tyres healthy from now to the checkered flag? He's surely going to have to be nursing those. He can't be pushing to his heart's content at the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah, he has to be really, really careful because, like I say, that track must be scorching hot right now from what I can see. Especially you can see the heat coming off the track.
Definitely so. We see Vita Ultra there moving ahead of Freddie coming down the hanger straight. He's also looking to try and get ahead of the Grieve here into Stowe corner, getting really close under the brakes, but the Grieve at the moment survives. And they come down towards Vale, and still doesn't look like Vita Ultra's close enough to make that move on the Grieve, as Senna's got ahead of sort of Dino going through Village. So into Aintree they go. Senna there up into 4th place. Those two looks like they've been trading places a little bit, but Senna obviously on those faster, fresher, medium tyres is inevitably going to not have too much of a fight. But Dino trying to come back at him, as I say that, into Brooklands. He's too far back though. Senna with the better grip, able to go later on the brakes. More confidence there underneath him, and Senna does get that one fully completed. But Joram already right on the back of Chris, as you would expect on those soft tyres. The Grieve's binned it there, he's had a mistake there, and he's dropped now down behind Vita Ultra and Freddie, so the Grieve down to P10. But back to this battle for the lead here as Joram hunting down Chris. But as I said before, his tyres are going to be absolutely on a knife's edge at the end of this race. I think that we're going to see Joram hobbling around on this last lap. I cannot see him getting to the checkered flag on these. He'd have to do 10 laps altogether on a set of soft tyres. I don't think it's possible, even around a track like Silverstone, which is not notoriously hard on the tyres.
But when you're stuck behind the car, you have no fresh air getting those tyres. They're going to overheat even more than what they already are with that,
Yeah, they definitely are. So it's going to be, I think, inevitable that we're going to be seeing Joram struggling here a bit in a couple of laps time, but he gets the move done on Chris nonetheless, and he makes that move into the lead as we see Dino still trying to pressure the back of Senna at the moment. Nino Blanco has just been passed by Vita and Ultra, so Vita and Ultra is now up into 7th place as they're coming out of Luffield. So plenty of action going on at the moment, and now Lino's going to lose out to Freddie. Freddie round the outside of club corner and gets himself up into 8th place there as Freddie. Lovely manoeuvre there around the outside. Back to these leaders though. Chris is not giving up despite the fact that he's on the slower tyres. He's still keeping Joram on his toes here, and obviously Joram will be probably having to be quite conscious of these tyres here. He knows he's got to look after them to get them to the end, so he might not be pushing too hard, which could give Chris an opportunity to make this move. And he's looking to the inside into Stowe corner. Down the inside he goes. Chris there returns the favour on Joram. Joram passed him at the beginning of the previous lap. He's now done him again, but Joram looking back to the outside here as they come into Vale. It's side by side in between them, and Chris there just covers the inside line off and gets that one done. Joram though looking to try and get a cut back here coming through club corner, but he hasn't got enough of a good run coming out to the start finish straight, and Chris will be able to hold on comfortably here coming into Abbey. But a great fight here from these two in the closing stages of this race. Joram trying to nurse those soft tyres to get them to the end. Chris doing a stout defence here of this race lead.
He's not been overly aggressive, he's not making any short movements, he's actually been more, I would say, been more generous with those tires than what Joram is at this point.
And obviously we've got Joram is going to be, I mean I tell you what, if he gets these to the end it'd be a miracle. I'm telling you that now. And plus, even if he puts a new set of softs on, he'll be able to roll them in, because he'll be about 3 seconds a lap quicker.
Yeah.
So yeah, either way. But I suppose he might as well roll the dice, you know, try and get a win. If he doesn't, he'll end up third, who cares? But
right now he has something to prove.
But in a way also, because he's not in the championship, he's also got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I
I
don't,
feel like he wants to prove that he's still got what it takes to be able to win at the top, regardless if he's a full-time driver during the season or not.
I get what you mean. He's coming here with a reputation and he's kind of got to live up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done that, to be fair, so far with obviously qualifying on the front row. Saying that though, Chris did actually get pole, but these two in the race have been so evenly matched. But I think definitely Joam isn't pushing as hard as he can, because being on the faster tyres, I think he would have a considerable pace advantage over Chris if he was pushing as hard as he could. He is definitely looking after the tyres as he needs to, but he needs to do more than just look after them here. I think he'd need to be massaging them at this point if he's going to get them anywhere near the checker flag. I don't think any amount of tyre conservation can get him to the end here.
Well, I have a feeling he's probably holding being a little bit more tame on the tires right now as far as it goes. He'll try and keep it relatively tame, but then as it comes out in the last two or three laps, he's probably going to fight. He's going to go to the limit.
Well, he's made the move down Chris down the hanger straight, obviously not using up too much tyre life there with the DRS open. He breezed past him, but obviously these battles are not going to help, because when you're battling other drivers, you're making more steering inputs, and that is only going to take the tyre life away even more. I think Joam's now decided to drop the hammer. He's decided to say, well, I might as well try and pull out a gap whilst these tyres have still got the ability to do so, and then hopefully I can have enough of a gap to be able to weather the storm when they go off the cliff, because looks like Joam said, screw it, I'm just going to go for the race win now. Saying that though, Chris is still keeping himself quite close. Only 0.6 of a second is the gap, but Chris is not going to be close enough to how cracking him at the end of the Wellington straight. He'll have DRS to get himself that little bit closer, but he's not anywhere near close enough to make a move at the moment. These guys still pulling away from Tazamuzza in third place, but Joam has just got to send it here around these next sort of 2.5 laps, I think, whilst he's still got some relative tyre life. He just needs to absolutely blitz it around this Silverstone circuit and hope that he can maybe get a 2 or 3 second gap and try and ride it out. But it's going to be a real test of Joam's conservation skills, of his balancing, of his ability to balance pace and precision and conservation all in one. It's going to be a real challenge here for him as they're coming down the hanger straight. Chris a little bit too far back to make a move here coming into Stowe corner. Got DRS, but it's only going to get him that little bit closer. It's not going to give him a chance. Oh wow, got to eat my words there. Joam went a bit wide, went a bit deep into Stowe corner. Did he let him through there? That was a bit confusing, I've got to say. That was a bit unusual. That looks a bit strange. Start of lap 23 then, into Abbey we come once again, and Joam is poised on the back of Chris, but Chris back in the lead again. You can hear Joam coasting there. Is he running low on fuel maybe? Because you could hear he was lifting and coasting as we were on board there going into Village. Definitely lifting off the throttle, saving fuel, or maybe it's just a byproduct of saving the tyres. Yeah, it's probably just it's just a byproduct of the same thing, yeah.
Because we would have to light up in the heads-up display for it, if it was fuel.
Yeah, true. And also, lifting off the throttle and coasting is actually a way to save the tyres, isn't it? So, yeah, that's probably what's going on there. But Joam here coming down the national pit straight, all over the back of Chris at the moment. Into Cops corner we go. Still right there on the back of him at the moment. 3.5 laps left to go. He's done 6.5 laps on these soft tyres. He's still got a fair old way to go at the moment. Still about 10 miles left over the course of this race. Who is going to win this race? Chris has got the more durable medium tyres, which he can push as hard as he likes. Joam with these worn soft tyres, looking to the he's not actually looking down the inside into Stowe. He's going to go down the inside though. Wow, same place that Joam looked like he let Chris through on the previous lap, and there's a similar situation there. Chris just went a little bit deep and Joam there ducked underneath him, no dramas.
This is a very odd end to the race that they're making. They're making very moves, allowing the car to pass in very awkward positions.
It is a bit strange. I don't know whether maybe it's just a coincidence that they both happen to run wide at the same place, but don't know. Oh, on Discord.
Yes.
But currently watching them going through Luffield here on lap 24 of the race, and it's Chris still keeping onto the back of Joram. Obviously Joram is going to be clinging to this, going to be clinging to anything he can here at this stage in the race, seeing that he's on very worn out tyres. Ah, welcome Rocky.
How are we, Rocky?
I'm just trying to connect to the internet on my phone, which is on the Discord call.
We'll call up late race pit stop for the phone.
But we see the two leaders there go through Stowe Corner once again, and we've got just over 2 laps left here in this race. Yeah, it's the same on my screen as well. Just give it a minute, see if it comes up. But here we are then, down the, can you see it? Is it clear?
Yeah, it's happened this one, please.
So here we go then, Joram and Chris here, neck and neck with a lap and a half left to go. Joram on 8 lap old soft tyres. Are they going to make it to the flag? He's doing a really good tyre conservation job here. He's been absolutely superb. I'm surprised that they're still going as strong as they are at this stage in the race. Chris is still sticking to the back of him like glue though. And surely in the last couple of laps we're going to start to see Joram struggling on these tyres. It's been a superb drive so far. But I don't know if he can hold on for much longer. Chris is surely going to be looking to land that knockout blow here.
Those tires to fall, those soft tires to fall off a lot more than what they have. But he's definitely been keeping it alive. He's not keeping it alive.
Yeah, definitely so. But coming into Vale here, about to start the final lap of the race, and Chris is still keeping him very much on his toes here. He will be, I'm sure, all over him are coming out of the loop onto the Wellington straight. That'll be his best chance, and then the second chance after that will be the hanger straight. Is Chris going to be strategic about this, and is he going to wait until the hanger straight? Obviously the hanger straight's not as it's not as prime of an overtaking spot. It's not as easy to get the move done down there, but if you find yourself in the lead going into Stowe, you basically got the win in the bag. So it's about strategy here. What's he going to do? Coming down the Wellington straight, a little bit too far back, I think, to make a move into Brooklands. He's going to have to wait until the hanger straight to make this move. Is Joram going to get a good enough run out of Chapel Curve on those soft tyres? That's the question here.
I'm afraid he's definitely his last best opportunity is the hanger straight, because once you come out of there, you're pretty much left with no other overtaking opportunities depending on how far ahead you actually are.
Well, here we go then, the two leaders coming into Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel for the final time in this British Grand Prix here for Season 6 here on the EA Sports F1 game at Motive on the PlayStation platform. And these two have been fighting it out for the entire race. Joram on very worn out tyres is holding on, but Chris has got DRS and he's going to look to the inside, and there's a gap on the inside which he's going to use. Bit of contact there as they come through, but Chris makes the move there into Stowe Corner. He goes a little bit deep though, and Joram's going to try and get the cut back here down towards Vale. Chris has got the inside line. He's surely going to go later on the brakes here, but Joram's going to keep himself there all the way around the outside of Vale chicane. Oh, it's going to be so close, but Chris there holding it around the outside. Who's going to come across the line first? Oh my goodness me, Chris there gets it just by 9,000ths of a second. Chris is your winner, Joram second. Tezemaza completes the podium. What a race there from those two. Incredible battle. Oh, we want to see more of them two again, please. We want to see you boys on track more often. Senna comes over to take 4th place in the end, and he's well clear of Dino, who's a couple of seconds clear of Papa Squanch. What a battle that was. That is one of the most classic, that's one of the most exciting finishes I've ever seen in the F1 League here at Motive.
That's definitely going to be one for the highlights.
Definitely, if we ever get around to it. Papa Squanch there gets P5 due to Dino's penalty. V10 Ultra coming through Club Corner, and over the line here to take the checkered flag. A few seconds clear of Freddie, who's just coming up on the start-finish line now. P8 for Freddie. Nino Blanco will be coming around to take 9th place in the end. The Grieve not too far behind here. will take the final point for P10. And that is your lot then for the F1 League here at Motive. This was round 7 of season 6 here. A depleted grid, but some great action from the front two, made up for the fact that we only had 12 drivers start the race. If you guys want to get involved, if you think you can challenge the likes of Joe and Chris, then be sure to go to www.motiveracing.com. If you're a clean, fair racer, then by all means come along and join, because we have got so many spaces in our leagues right now. We've got too many seats being filled by time wasters, essentially. There's no other word for it. So if you fancy getting involved, feel free to join us. But Ian, what a race that was from the front two, and an enjoyable night of action once again here.
Yeah, they never gave us a chance to take a break or take a breath at all, which it was just amazing. I was not expecting that kind of caliber of race. That shows how long I've been out of Formula 1 racing here at Motive, but yeah, absolutely fantastic, and can't ask for a much better ending either.
Absolutely not. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Guys, we will be back next week for the F1 League. We're back at the same time as always for round 8 of the season, as I'm just buying a bit of time whilst I check the calendar to see who we're racing at. We're at Belgium. So next week at Spa, it will be a sprint race as well, a sprint weekend or a sprint event. So sprint and a Grand Prix next week at Spa. So make sure you join us at the same time as always, 6:45 PM UK time. But for myself and Ian, it's a very good night, and we'll see you very soon.